Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. It is Republic Day today. It's 26th of January and I'm in Mumbai, and I think it's the first time I've actually been in India for Republic Day. I am a terrible Indian. I have lived outside a lot of my life, but for the first time I'm actually in India for Independence Day, for Republic Day I mean. And so I'm really grateful that I can be here. And so I want to do a little bit of a themed video where I'm talking a little bit about my life in Mumbai and what I like about Mumbai, because let's start with what I like. And maybe I can do a video in the future about what I dislike about living in India and Mumbai. So surprisingly, when I first moved to Mumbai, I did not realize I would like it as much as I like it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be harassed all the time. I'm gonna have to deal with so many scams. People are always gonna be bothering me, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out the caliber of people in Mumbai is completely different from the caliber of people, of Indians outside of Mumbai. So, and I notice this very much when I'm traveling within India itself, that, as soon as I leave Mumbai, the cocoon that is Mumbai, and I go to Delhi or I go anywhere else, I noticed that the people change as well. So it's quite interesting how, maybe because of the fact that Mumbai is maybe a richer area because of all the Bollywood influence, because there are so many influential people here, perhaps because there's a lot more educated people here. A lot of people, almost even all the taxi drivers, speak English, not perfectly, but they do. Maybe because they're just surrounded by so much wealth, that people in Mumbai have a certain way of dealing with people, which is a little bit more sophisticated. I don't know what the reason for it is. I just noticed that when I am in Mumbai, I feel a lot more relaxed than any other part of India. And I mean, I'm not saying I've visited every single part of India, but every part that I have visited, I know that when I'm in Mumbai, I feel a lot more relaxed. And there's lots of reasons for it. First of all, my policy. I love staying in cities which have good sidewalks because I want a walkable city. I love walking and I spend a lot of my time walking. And Mumbai kind of is that city comparatively to all other places in India. It's very hard to find a city in India where you can walk very easily. There's always, vendors on the streets, street stalls, the pavement's broken, or it's blocked by a tree or blocked by something or the other. And so, reasonably well in Mumbai, you can walk on the sidewalks. Yes, you'll have to go on the road a couple of times, up and down and all that stuff. If you have a wheelchair, it's gonna be very hard. But in general, if you are physically able, you can walk on the sidewalks and pretty much be safe from all the traffic most of the time. And so that's kind of helpful. It's not all the time, and in fact, the city is made for cars, which is one of my negative points. I'll talk about that in a future video. But there is a little bit of push here towards payments being properly administered so that people, because there are a lot of people walking, can actually walk. The other thing about the city is that it has great public transportation. You can literally take a bus or a train or a metro from one point to another. Not the metro all the time, but the bus system here is amazing, and it is so cheap. I am surprised sometimes. I'll be sitting in the bus, sitting around for an hour getting from one spot to another. And at the end of it, I would have only paid 5 rupees or 10 rupees, which is literally cents. It is nothing. And so I know I've heard that the public transportation system in India is not making a profit, but they're doing it so that all the people who are so poor in India can afford to move around. So I think that's a really great thing. And I noticed, I usually take auto rickshaws, which are the 3-wheelers, or I'll take Ubers if I'm going to the airport, if I have luggage. But in general, when I do take the bus, and which is very rare because I don't travel as long distances, I usually take the metro or the bus. I noticed that it's such an easy way of transportation. There's a section for women to sit so that you're not sitting next to a man. And even if you're sitting next to men, they never usually bother you. And I've traveled a lot in India and other parts, I've noticed that I was constantly harassed. People touching me, men touching you inappropriately, happens all the time. But I've noticed in Mumbai, they will give you your space. They will actually move to another seat. If a woman sits down, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to move to a seat next to a man if there's space. And if you are sitting next to a man and there's no other space, they will be very careful. They will not touch your leg to your leg, or they'll be careful to put their hands away from you. Even when they're walking on the street, when I'm walking on a pavement, men will move away when they're walking towards me, or they'll move their hands away so that they're like, they'll put it behind their back, which is something I think is so gentlemanly and something I really, really appreciate and admire in the men in Mumbai, because it is just such a little thing to do, but it makes me feel so much more safer. And that's another thing about Mumbai. I feel extremely safe here, walking around at all times of day. I've walked around at midnight, I've walked around at 2 a.m., coming back from a club by myself, taking an auto rickshaw, never felt a smidgen of unsafeness. Like, I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm sure there's lots of assault and rape and all that crap going on as it is in the rest of India, but I know I have felt quite safe, much safer than I have in other parts of India. In Delhi, I wouldn't even bother leaving the house after 6 p.m., like after it gets dark. But here, there's no problem. I came back just last night at around 9:30 p.m. after a movie showing, and I was walking on the street. There's no problem. The streets were well lit. I came back home. I climbed up the stairs. The security guard was there. Everything was fine. Most buildings here, apartment buildings, have 24/7 security guards, which also gives you a little bit of solace because they're there, always there, making sure that no random person comes into the room. I'm not saying that it doesn't mean that random people don't come into the buildings, but it is a little bit of an extra precaution, which I also appreciate as a single woman living here. And also I have heard about the safety factor from other women living here as well, that they feel safe walking around at all times of day. I've seen women walking around at all times of day by themselves, on the phone or chilling, not even worried, not like holding onto their purse and looking around and all that stuff like they would in other parts of India. So that's another thing I do love about Mumbai. Of course, the food is something that you cannot beat in any part of India. The food in India is just delicious, it's cheap, it's everywhere, and that's what I really like, because you can literally be hungry at any time of day, at any point of day, in the middle of the night, and you'll find a food stall that's serving delicious fresh food for you to munch on, and it's cheap. It would be like $1, less than $1 sometimes even. I'm eating sometimes my breakfast for 50 cents. And it's delicious, freshly prepared meals. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, this is delicious, and I'm only paying this much for it? Oh my God. It's a little bit crazy. Of course, it is meant for all those people who are poor. There are places you can go, but they are really expensive. So there are all the ranges. Obviously, this is Bollywood area, so there's places where you can like splurge. And lots of people there are very, very, very rich here, so they do splurge. So you can do that as well. But I appreciate the fact that there is the variety, right? You can go to eat for 10 cents, you can go to eat for 50 cents, you can go to eat for $500, like there's like the range that's there. Also, food delivery services here are amazing. Literally at any time of day, you can get food delivered directly to your door. They come to your door, they'll knock, they'll give you the food. And of course, you hopefully are tipping them because they work really, really hard. These delivery drivers, they're running around from place to place. The traffic is horrendous, and they're navigating all of that, the weather, the traffic, and everything, and coming to your door. And sweetly, they like smilingly, sweetly deliver food to you. It makes me so happy, and I'm so grateful for them because, I'm sitting in my comfortable room and they're hassling through the world, coming and delivering, and with a smile. Like, I just love them. I really appreciate all the Zomato and all the Swiggy and all the delivery drivers. They work really, really hard, and I really, really am grateful for them. So these are some of the things that I really do love about Mumbai. Of course, it's also very easy to find an apartment here. The deposit you have to pay is extremely high, so you have to be careful about that. It is an expensive city, and so that's a negative point. I'll talk about that in the future. But there's a lot of good points about Mumbai. Lots of different varieties of people, lots of different people to meet, lots of really professional women that you can talk to, and they're just so smart and doing amazing things. And so I'm really enjoying my time here. I don't know how long I'll be here for, but I am definitely enjoying my time here in the moment. As I said, it's not perfect. There's lots of things that I'm like, oh, I wish they would improve this. But it is an Indian city, and comparatively to other Indian cities, I think it's one of the best cities in India to live in. Compared like Bangalore, I really don't think it's that great. Delhi, definitely not. Indore, I don't think so. Hyderabad, no. I mean, it's a no for me. So comparatively all the other cities, I think Mumbai is one of the best ones. I'm really enjoying my time here. So if you do ever visit, I do recommend you do come to Mumbai for a little bit at least. Again, thank you so much for listening, for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.